At times, perhaps we should try not to shoot the messenger too much and consider where the message is coming from. It's easy to be riled up about the folks on Twitter or on college campuses or sulking in their bedrooms about the kind of strange demands and accusations that are being hurled at a lot of our hobbies, D&D and fantasy fiction being the subject du jour of the day. Uh, you know, uh, when you think about it, though, like these complaints about whether or not orcs are a racist stereotype, or whether or not Tolkien is racist, or whether or not basically any of the classic science fiction and fantasy of the last century was racist or not, is kind of the essential core of a lot of this stuff. But where exactly are these ideas coming from? Well, these are coming from academics. Now, one might pause and consider, why the fuck has so much academic attention fallen upon the works of J.R.R. Tolkien and Harry Potter and Dungeons and Dragons and all this sort of stuff? Well, mass media, telecommunications, and the internet has sort of created a bit of a paradox in our society. Normally, as a population balloons, you'll have a certain need for certain occupations. Some of those are creative endeavors. If you want to be able to hear music, you're going to need some people in your area who are trained, interested, and talented at playing music. If you want to be able to watch a play or another performance, you're going to have to locally source those actors, or just sit around and hope that a traveling troupe happens to show up one day. If you want a pretty picture to look at, you're going to have to find someone in your area who knows how to paint. If you want something written, you're going to have to find someone who knows how to write, so on and so forth. Normally in such a proportion that hopefully there's enough people who can provide those services within whatever person's given travel range, so that they can acquire the services they need without having so many that you have a bunch of starving artists, because you only need so many painters in any given town. However, we now live in an age of radio communications, television broadcasts, satellite communications, and the internet. Since the beginning, this has started to unfold this way, and it's kind of peaking right now, but because of the way entertainment in particular acts, it's easy for it to become reduced down to whatever the most best and or the most popular is on a global scale. This drastically reduces the actual amount of artists, painters, musicians, actors, and so on and so forth that there is a need for in society, because once you get a certain cabal of popular or talented people down and working, and they're putting out output, and everyone on the planet can enjoy that output, everyone can have a copy of someone's painting, everyone can listen to someone's song, everyone can watch someone's movie, so on and so forth and down the list. There's less need for such a heavy volume of people. Yet at the same time, the population keeps growing and growing, and there is still that percentage of folks who are born and with those sorts of talents, itching to get out of them. This leads to this kind of wall of despair that a lot of people have. That's been furthered by the fact that a lot of people are encouraged in modern society to want to express themselves artistically. I feel with some people, part of why they have these ideas of things they want to do that they never get around to doing is, on some level, perhaps they've been sold on someone else's dream. Other people just kind of overthinking things and just need to just knuckle under and do the thing that they keep talking about doing. But all of us who dabble our fingers in the creative arts of one way or another, whatever our genre is, we all have this massive uphill climb of competition, because all the top slots are not only taken, but they're taken worldwide now. You're not just competing with your local writers. You're not just competing with your local musicians. You're not just competing with your local actors. You're competing with George R.R. Martin, Kurt Cobain, and Tom Cruise. And if you try to, extend yourself out there, you're not just doing local street art. You're competing with Banksy. as I said, that this creates a paradox, and the fact that everyone's encouraged into, like, studying these things, especially as they become more and more popular and become more and more the focus of our culture, where instead of studying like classical history and classical mythology now, people go to college to take classes, literally to take classes on how to speak Elvish from the Lord of the Rings, or the societal meanings of Harry Potter and Voldemort, and like, exactly what is it that you're doing when you're getting a degree, and that's what your big thesis for your English literature degree is Tolkien. What is it that you have to say that's going to add to the conversation that's better than I like the part with the Eagles. I mean, Tolkien himself put out an awful lot of like writing on what the hell he was doing and talking about. So, like, how much analysis is there really to be made? Year after year after year, thousands and thousands of kids in hundreds of colleges all across the world writing theses on Tolkien. And everything needs to be original now. It's not like you can just regurgitate the same old shit. This is a problem that's also endemic throughout the arts. Everything's got to be new and fresh. You can't just do the thing people like. Even if you do reboot the old thing, you've got to change it a little bit and make it yours. Leading us to like stories that become more and more disconnected to the sorts of like basic rhythms of storytelling that human beings actually want. Human beings like it when the story does what they expect the story to do. Plot twists are cool every once in a while, but we can't have everything be nothing but nonstop plot twists. And like now they've gotten to a point where, the originality is, well, like, let's just, change a couple of character ethnicities and genders, and bam, it's brand new, 25% difference, send us a check. I created this. You have these academic students who are having to come up with something to fucking talk about, to justify to themselves, to their teachers, to the money and time that they just spent as to why the hell they're writing a gigantic report on something to say about J.R.R. Tolkien or Lord of the fucking Rings. And then this gets spread downwind to the younger students and out throughout the culture, and reinforced by teachers who themselves were once upon a time their own version of those exact same students. And then, like, we suddenly find ourselves the people out here, out in the trenches, who actually were just enjoying the thing and were the reason why it became popular in the first place, and who have been tending to and loving the product and all that sort of stuff. Now, we're all shut out in the cold as being vilified because a bunch of literal academics in ivory towers have decided from on high that in order to be able to justify, the fucking time they've wasted with their lives, that this thing that has like shaped modern culture is actually this terrible indictment of the human character. Yeah, I don't know. Stay waspinated.